guys hear me in YouTube land? If someone can hear me, please type in the chat. Let's get started here. Anyone? Anyone hear me on YouTube? Bueller. Alright guys, it takes literally 1 second for somebody on YouTube here to type, yes, you can hear me. I'm not asking for a lot here. A little feedback would be great. Alright, I can hear myself. Appreciate that. Appreciate the help. Alright, I'll be back in 90 seconds after these disclaimers. Thank you, Pi. I appreciate it.
Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrencies. This risk can be substantial, and therefore investors should carefully consider their financial stability prior to trading. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. The software, strategies, chat rooms, websites, and any associated websites or digital venues are for educational purposes only and should not be construed as an express or implied promise or guarantee that you will profit or that losses may be limited in any manner whatsoever. Users of the information accept sole responsibility for the outcomes of their deployment and holds Stocks and Trader, LLC, and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and customers harmless without preservation. Please trade responsibly. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, Rule 4.41, hypothetical and simulated trading performance results have certain inherent limitations, some of which are described herein. No representation is being made that any account below is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical or simulated performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared with the benefit of hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading record completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or adhere to a particular trading program in spite of trading losses are material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. Because these trades have not actually been executed, the hypothetical results may have under or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. There are numerous other factors related to the markets in general or to the implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in simulated trading or in the preparation of hypothetical performance results and all, of which can adversely affect actual trading results.
This trade room and this webinars are not intended to mirror my trades or to give specific trade recommendation. In all instances, I share trades and potential trades that I take for myself based on my personal analysis. With all the firms to teach trades, I identify specific areas of trades and manage for themselves, but ultimately the decision is yours. Trading is extremely risky, and if you decide to follow my personal trades, you do so at your own risk and could potentially lose your entire account and even more. And I was profitable and I have routine drawdowns on my trading accounts. The spreadsheet that I access to is my personal spreadsheet that I use to enter zone values and ATR values that help me pinpoint exact prices for my trades. You can see when I enter zone prices into the master spreadsheet as well as the prices to enter trades, whether you want to go long or short. You have the ability to copy the spreadsheet and enter your own values and use mine to confirm zone prices until you're able to draw the zones correctly yourself. The spreadsheet is not telling you which direction to trade, as it has entry prices and stop prices for both long and short positions depending on which trading person you decide to trade.
Alright. I currently have a bond position on here. We'll go over it. I'm going to trail my stops. Some new buy ice just fired off. I took a trade off of the Ludwig level, one of our strategies, and I actually just sold into the Ludwig level in NASDAQ. Wasn't paying attention to where we were and took a loss because of it. We'll go over that here. But right now I need to trail my stop on this long. We'll go over that as well. See, so this new zone here, 112.30 to 112.27. I plug that in my spreadsheet and I trail my stop. We'll go over what I did earlier. I forgot what it was. 112.30 to 127. Bonds are whipping around today too, by the way. Alright. So this new setup, if I were to go long off that, my stop would be at 112.20. So it was originally at 112.04. I'm going to move it up to 112.20 based on this new event. Again, we'll go over that here in a second. 12.20. That is working. So quickly, see there's a stop run here. There's two stop runs back to back. 666. That's not a good omen. And then another 661. So 1,200 stops here, right at the powerful Ludwig level. And this is where I shorted in the lug. We'll come here in a second so I can complain about that a little bit. But let's see. Bonds. So you can see, like, literally to the tick. That's why when I tell you guys this is the second most powerful thing I've ever seen in futures trading. This is why, because this just happens nonstop. So anyway, a slug. We have different trading strategies that we're taking in the room, depending on. We'll go over multiple today. So this was a stop run into the blue lug. First move out, I take the long. I got long. This was also an Izzy trade. So these are the trades that we're taking in the trade room currently, and there will be a course on all of these coming out, and then I'm going to be adding many more going forward. But I took the slug, stop run into take any trade as a fade trade with a stop run on a major lug, that's blue or red, and then I took an inflection zone trade as well. So Izzy trade. So I have these zones that are actually available now. The spreadsheet's also available to you guys. I'll post that here in a second. You can get it subscription based. If you're in my trade room, you get it for free. But if you want it, you can't make the trade room, you got a regular job or whatever, you can get this stuff, these zones, and the spreadsheet. So this was the stop run in the zone. I took an Izzy trade and a slug trade long. So those are working, and then this is working very nicely actually. Hold on. And I'm actually waiting for a retest. There was a volume event here. There was a double whammy. Actually a broken double whammy, and these usually lead to whopper moves. Double whammy is one of the 6 distinct setups we have in my trade room. It's actually I've made 2 different courses about this stuff. Hold on with that. So this is the new course. I will put the thing here in a second, but this would be this double whammy right here. So I'm waiting for a retest here. There's nothing else to do except for a blind ATR retest failure and then a potential liquidity trade on this last event. You can see the liquidity up here, so I'm waiting. So for those strategies, I wait for an ATR move away from the area, away from the volume event. That's this. Then I get if I get the retest and a failure, I will go long. I don't think that retested all the way to the zone. And this is all in the spreadsheet. So if you have the spreadsheet, you just literally add the zones in there, and it'll tell you the exact add the zone prices, the current ATR, which is actually 6.28, and then I will know the retest price. It's got to come back to 17.75. So actually, I think that's what it did to the tick. Surprise. Let's see. No, I missed it by 1 tick. No, there you go. So actually, I should be going long right now. This setup. I need to be long at 24.25, and this is the beauty about the spreadsheet. You just put your zone prices in and your ATR, what you want to risk per trade, and it automatically computes your size. So I'll put on, I'm going to round up here, I'll put on 7, and I'm going long at 24.25. Hurry up and get that in, because it's right there right now. Of course I missed the trade. That's that, and then so I'm going long bark and lick. We'll go over here in a second. Why is this doing that? Oops. So let me get this in here real quick. I'll put this in YouTube and in Discord. So this goes over everything. Indicator course, the spreadsheet, if you want access to that. So I just filled out my other both strategies, lick and bark. We'll go over that.
Iceberg by ZL 155 contracts.
Anyway, course, this is to get the spreadsheet if you want access to that. If not, you get it as a part of my trading room website, email, and then these are the stuff I use for Bookmap. All these stuff have discounts. So if you want discounts to the stuff that I'm using, go here, and then here's your Ludwig levels. Join, you go to their website, you do a 3-day free trial, and say you saw on Bookmap, you get special pricing. I'll put that in the room right now. Okay, James, I'm trading live, so you try trading live in multiple markets and then tell me how slow you're going to talk. All right, so this is live trading, my friend. I don't know what to tell you. I apologize if I'm talking fast. When I show you, I'm going to show some of my old trading. You're going to see how my mind works. I was, very active. My brain works pretty fast. I process things very fast, so I talk fast, especially when I'm trading live. So I don't know what to tell you other than that. Let me put this in Discord. find this damn room in Discord. Here it is. Actually, it's still in there from last week, so you guys have access to that. Alright, so let's see where we're at here. Alright, so I'm long 24, 25. Everything's in the spreadsheet. I'm going to place my stop wherever this tells me to. So I got long there. Stops at 0775. I'm risking 16.5 points on this trade. This is what this risk demands based on the zone price and the ATR. So this doesn't matter. This could be risking, like if ATR jumps up to 15 points, right? I'm now risking 36 points on this trade because these are position trades. I'm looking for bigger moves. My size gets cut down. I don't impose my will on the market, meaning I don't have a static, oh, I only like to risk 3 points when I put in an ES trade. That is nonsensical, right? The market doesn't care what you want to risk. The market cares about volume events and volatility. So that's why I risk. And you can see these algos in here. When it looks like a Christmas tree, it's algo city. So they will whipsaw this back and forth when nothing is going on. When something's going on, that's when they get disrupted, so on and so forth. So I force my trades to come back the full ATR from where I got filled through the volume event and another ATR plus 10% outside of the zone for me to be wrong. And that avoids so many losses, which traders love to put their 3 points, static stops in, and they get stopped out, and then they watch the market rip 30 points, and they wonder why they're not in the trade, right? So this inherently is the edge. There is no better edge in futures trading, in my opinion, and I've traded millions and millions of contracts. You're going to see some of that in a little bit. So I have a little bit of a sense when it comes to order flow, right? And I've watched so many of these volume events, again, the strongest edge I've ever seen, to know where I should be, after this has been trial and error over 5 years, the best place to put my stop orders once I enter the trade, and the best way to enter these trades too. Again, I don't get in. I used to get in right at the. You could do this too. This is part of my course where I talk about very ultra aggressive entries. I would prefer waiting for it to push an ATR out of here, and then especially if it comes back, retest, and then gets out again. That's even a better odds trade, probability trade that it's going to roll that way. That's why I trade the way I do. It's not just me just guessing. It's from watching thousands and thousands of these things. So that's how I trade them. I got to put my stop in actually because I wouldn't forget, and then it won't be good. 775 is my stop here. 775. That's working. All right. So those are working. This bond trade, actually, I'm gonna get out. Now, see, this is the problem. I only have one on based on my risk. Hold on. I'm just gonna get out because I'm not gonna be able to monitor this. Get out of my slug. Hold on 1 second, guys. And then So normally when I have a trade on, I have multiple positions. I have multiple contracts on, and I will get out in important areas. This is why if you can trade micros, I firmly believe you should be trading micros. If your count is too small to be trading the minis, where you can only put on one contract, one major contract, trade 10 micros where you don't have to be all or nothing at important areas. So for instance, this is an important area for me. You have confluence here, you have yellow lug and VWAP. So this is an area, if I had multiple on, I would get out of one. I just got out of the one. I would get out of one, and then, or a percentage, usually about half, and then I would let half try to get up to this red lug. But I only have one on. I'm not going to be able to monitor this thing close enough because I'm on the webinar. So I got out right there. So it was a nice trade. Again, I caught the move from basically the blue lug all the way up to the yellow lug. So I'm happy with that trade. On to bigger and better things. And like I said, bonds are whipping around today. I don't feel like watching that thing come all the way back, kind of like this. So this is, the whole idea with this, where I put my stops. So this is in my face right now, but it has to push through this volume event for me to be wrong, and it's got to push an ATR, and then I say uncle, and on to the next trade. I was willing to put a long on this trade, so I have one filter for my bark trades and my lick trades, and it's algo guy. This is an exponential moving average. I talk about this every week. It's very powerful, where I will only put on the ultra aggressive strategies, which meaning they're just all non-stop all day, like the barks are just blind ATR retest failures of these volume events, I will put those trades on
27 out of 100 indicates fear.
if
The fear greed index, 46 out of 100, also indicating fear.
if algo guy is bullish, right? So I put that on because the blue, the shorter term exponential moving average, is above the red, and this is just pulling back to the red. So we'll see if that continues that way. If it crosses back below, I'm probably going to get stopped out, but that's information too, because many times when algo guy crosses like it did, and it can't, when price pulls above and it pulls the blue above with space and it can't hold, if it flips back, many times you get that. So this is actually a pretty important area as far as algo guy is concerned. Bigger picture, this is kind of in the middle of nowhere, and that's why it's a chop fest, right? Like there's really nothing here, nothing as far as my inflection zones. We're basically right here. So I don't really have a strong opinion here either way. So, every morning I come up with a thesis based on market structure, market profile, and then I'll still trade both ways because I'm a day trader, but I will
Soybean iceberg sells ES 211 contracts.
I will trade bigger in the direction of my thesis if
Soybean
everything's lining up.
sells ES 200 to contracts.
We got soybeans here. We'll come over there in a second. So here's your bounce off here. And I still haven't been stopped out because I forced the market to push all the way through the volume event. So that's why. So we'll see what happens here. Trades on. Again, this is the best edge I've ever seen. So I know that it's inherently the best edge. So I just keep putting the trades on, right? Whether I'm scared or I don't feel like something's going to happen. I have many trades where I feel like it's a terrible trade, but I follow my process. And that's the only way you're ever going to become a professional or proficient trader is follow the process. Here's my trades, and none of these does it say unless I feel scared, right? So I put trades on, and if they lose, it's on to the next one. I know over a series of trades that I will be a profitable trader because the edge is in the volume events, right? And then I show this every week too, straight from Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. I've added my own stuff here, like the areas that I get out, so on and so forth. But this is stuff that you need to internalize if you want to be a successful trader, right? It's all an edge is a probability, nothing more than an indication of a higher probability of one thing happening over another.
Stop by NQ 155 contracts.
All right, we got NQ. I was waiting for a retest of the zone, and I just missed it, of course. All right, so I may get in this right now. I put the zone in, and this is the pattern, guys. It's over and over. We actually even have a trade for this move back to the zone. So I'm supposed to be long this too. Hold on, let's see what that price was, and I can actually trail my stop to the event that just fired off too. Let's just make sure this is right. 29.65. Hold on a second, guys. Alright, sorry about that. Alright, so I'm supposed to be long at 58.75, and I can put on 4 rounding up. Let's see where we're at. Alright, so I have not missed this trade. So if it comes back to 58.75, I'm going to put on that trade from this original event. And this is the beauty of these things. This is why I trail my stops. And I'm going to draw this zone, and I'm going to trail my stop to this event. So my risk is much less now. I can actually trade bigger if I wanted to. I could probably trade double size because of the decrease in risk here. So I'm going to put on, I already have ES on, so I'm just put on the normal size here. I'm going to put on 4, and I'm going to get in at 58.75. If it comes back there, then we'll go over my loser that I put on NASDAQ in a little bit. So the bark trade is any ATR retest of a volume event, which we just saw. So this was this stop run. See it on the on chart as well. Moved away, retest, failure. I'll go long. Bark, and then see if there's liquidity up here. There's a little bit. I'm not gonna. I won't put on the lick trade. I'll just put on the bark trade. So the lick trade is literally if you see a lot of liquidity, kind of like this, and which I have on, and I'm trading to these liquidity levels. So market is just literally just chopping around right now. So if it comes back, I'll be long the bark trade in NASDAQ, and I'm already long lick and bark in ES. So we'll see how that. It's definitely a chop fest, and I think there's still Fed Fed guys talking. There was one earlier, and that was another reason where you want to be very careful putting on trades, obviously, where they're talking. But this Goldsby guy's been talking for an hour, so you had to either not trade or say, okay, I'm going to give it a shot and put the trade on. Gabrielle Scott, the retest and does it have to be the exact tick, or can it count if it's like a tick above? You know, if you want to trade like an algo, you're trading against algos, it should be the exact tick. You know, subjectiveness, you want to limit as much as possible. There are certain times if you absolutely love an area and it misses by a tick, yeah, I mean, you can get in, but, you know, algos are set. Like if I write this up as an algo, if it doesn't touch that retest tick and I miss it, I miss it. You know, or it misses the trade. So, yeah, you can add human element into it, a little subjectivity, but I would recommend you follow, especially if you're new. I would new to learning this stuff in my room or whatever. I would follow these prices exactly, and you just got to get used to it. Some trades you're going to miss. Some trades aren't going to retest. You know, you can love an area, and I want to put a trade on long, and if it's not in an area where I get aggressive, I have to wait for the retest. Sometimes it doesn't retest, and I'm okay with that because I know I have better odds of the trade working when it does that, and that. Right, so all right, those are working. So this is my trade earlier. I completely, because I was trying to set up the video of my old trading days, and I heard this event in NASDAQ, and we did get the ATR retest, fail. Again, this is when the clown was speaking too, but we had this, and I shorted right into the lug, and I didn't realize we were at the lug because I actually was restarting my lugs on top of it. So that was just a mental error on my part, and I took it on the chin because of it. Once again, the lugs work like a charm. So I took that loss earlier, and that did not have to happen if I had my, again, the two thing, the Fed dude talking and then the lug. I probably should have just set aside, but it is what it is. All right, let's see what's going on in soybeans. There's a lot of action in there. So what I preach to my room and you guys every week is you are doing yourself a disservice if you're staring at one market like the crappy ES, right? These volume events happen across all futures markets. If you know the thresholds, aka what is an important amount, where the markets react to it versus not, it's the same stuff, right? It's the same rules, it's the same patterns over and over and over, and that's what trading is picking up on patterns and taking advantage of it. That's the edge. So you can see here, this was 334 sell ice, and then you got another 500. So I'm probably going to combine these two zones. So let's start with this one. And there is a new drawing tool, automated drawing tool that we're using in my room. It's brand new. It'll be available to members of my room and actually general public here very soon. It's a godsend instead of having to go through all these steps with this drawing tool on here. It's pretty incredible. So. But it's based on the developer, it's based on his home computer, and he obviously is not around when it goes down, like because he has got a day job. So that's the one issue we need to correct. But so he's not around and it's down, so it's not working. But you'll see it. Hopefully, one of these webinars I'll show it, and you can see how cool it is. I think I showed it a couple weeks ago, the first webinar. All right, so that's this zone here, and you can see it on the chart as well. So the on chart. But I want to probably combine this with this other 300 ice, which it's probably the same house, this here. So let's see where that started. You can see. So it started there. You can see the blue bubble there, bought into it, and it triggered the iceberg right there. And it started to come in. This is only 40 at the time, but that's where it started. Then it moved down. As it moved down, someone kept trying to buy this up, right there, and they triggered more. It's actually over here probably, but it triggered more down here. But I'm going to move this zone up to up here, and I talk about, we go over drawing these zones. I've been drawing them wrong. I just screwed that up for a long time. I mean, the area has been right, but especially with us using the ATR and everything else, you want to be exact. So we are now drawing them the exact way. I go over this in the course, how to draw these zones, and I go over it every day in my trade room, so multiple times. So that is the zone, 1294 to 1291.50. Plug that in the spreadsheet. And then we'll look at the bigger picture and see what we got going on. ATR in here is 2.2. which is not. Oh, this is telling. This is a 5-minute Wilder's ATR. It's available on Thinkorswim on Sierra chart. It's just telling me the current volatility for the last 5 minutes. This means it's basically rotating at 2.25 points every 5 minutes. Very important information though, because you want to adjust to the volatility of the day. What's going on here? I just want to see something real quick. Let's see. My torture treatment of ES is. So guys, you can see this coming, right? Like I circled this stuff earlier. Like when you see these algos playing games, that's just showing orders pulling, putting in and pulling, putting in and pulling. There's nothing going on. That's when they start to whipsaw everybody, right? So not to say that this won't go through the zone, and if it does, it's information. I'm going to stop out and then on to the next trade. But I'm not surprised. One, we have a trade that trades for this kind of move back to the zone, like I said. And I'm not surprised it's continuing to do this. We're in the middle of nowhere, and it's Algo City. So this is the stuff that you have to condition yourself to sit through if you want to put on trades, right? It's, you know, the guys that can't handle this, you're not going to make it because algos are 85% of the market or more, right? So you got to learn to handle that type of trade mentally, and it's not easy. It takes a long time. I've conditioned myself, and again, when I show you these videos, when I slow down here a little bit, I'll show you that my videos of my trading. Where's that here? Of my old days of trading, right? Where you can see me flipping 500 lots. But my brain, I was a scalper for a reason. Certain people, it's very hard to sit through the nonsense. So I was like in and out, in and out, in and out. That's why I would average 50,000 contracts a day. It took a lot of years to condition myself to trade the way I do now, and I had to adjust, or I got knocked out of the business in the early days. I went from making millions of dollars to nothing basically overnight. I had about a good 3 years, and then it was over. So it was either adapt or what's the word, extinct or adapt or whatever. So I adapted. All right, so this actually is an event in this Izzy zone. What I'm getting here though, this is not looking positive. Bigger picture. Basically, you can make this all one big balance area. That is a failed breakout. Tried to break out yesterday. Now it's through this high volume node of this balance area. These are some of the best trades out there. Nat gas numbers out that lead to major moves. So my thesis is short. Does that mean I will not take a long off of this zone? No, I'm a day trader. I will take a long, but I'm not going to take a long with more size, a bigger position, because I think this market's going to get killed. If I get a short setup, so if the sell ice that just came in, it turns into a short setup, I will trade that bigger because of the bigger picture, my thesis, right? So I'll trade both ways, but if I get trades in the direction of my thesis, I trade bigger. So that's step one. Step two, algo guy is bearish. So I can take shorts, bark shorts, lick shorts. I just stopped out of the ES trade. I never got filled. Oh yeah, hold on. I did get filled on one of the NASDAQ. I don't think I put my stop in either. Hold on a second, guys. I thought for sure I got filled there. Hold on. I gotta check here. I know I put one on there. I thought I did. Maybe not. All right, so I stopped out of ES, and it is this because this is trading, right? It's probabilities. I gave that a shot. It tried, and now this is. I took a loss here, but it's giving me information. Like this thing should have held. The algo guy was positive. This bounced a couple times. Now this looks like it's going to get smushed once again. So we'll see. Again, this area is not like there's really nothing going on here. This is just. I can definitely see this just keep doing this. But we'll see what happens here. Let's check algo guy, see if I can flip. This is telling you something. Once again, if this pulls, and it's starting to pull right now, we just talked about this. When the market crosses blue above the red, this should continue. If it tries, and then it pulls the blue back below, watch out, because then these algos, that's why it's called algo guy, jump in that occurrence. So that's just information. It's just coming up with a thesis based on algo guy, right? I don't just trade off the algo guy, but when everything's lining up, I see this, I see it breaking down out of balance, so on and so forth, I will trade bigger to the short side. I don't have an opinion here, bigger picture, like I said. I'm not going to trade bigger just because algo guy, but I can take shorts going forward if they present themselves, and I also have information on what just happened here. This should have held pushing out of here an ATR a couple times. It didn't, so that's telling me that's going to happen. Potentially. It's just an opinion, but then I wait for my new event. I can't trade a short off of this event now because it already invalidated by getting an ATR above there. So now I'm just waiting for a new event here to put on a trade. And let's see NASDAQ, and then I'm going to put on a short in soybeans. All right, so I never drew this new event here in NASDAQ, and I never put on the long. I was going to go long, remember, if it came back, and it never came back. So I actually got lucky on that one. So let's draw this new event, and I just want to see if this is crossing and see if I can take shorts in NASDAQ. Yes, already crossed. There's those algos that jump in on the cross. Right?
Sells EO, 151 contracts.
So I'm going to draw this zone, and hopefully it'll come back and retest, and I will take a short. Because this one definitely didn't get an ATR above. All right, so that was a stop run. You see it on the sub chart here. Right. So we got 14.751 to 55 quarter. So I will plug that in the spreadsheet. I already forgot what I said. 55 quarter. Plug that in. That's the zone price, and then plug the ATR in, which is 31. This thing's pretty volatile today. 31.52. It's volatile and is going nowhere. All right, so that's set. So to make that event a short event or a bearish event, it needs to touch the validation price of 1950. I'm pretty certain that happened. Let's see. We'll mull through that. So this is I like to color these different colors so I don't get confused. But now if it comes back and retests and fails, I'm going short. Those are my rules, and I'm going to short. I demand that happening, right? I don't just jump in here because there's really, if this is an important area where I want to get short aggressively, I get short the minute this broke out of outside of an ATR. But there's nothing here to get short off of aggressively, so I'm waiting now. So I patiently wait for this, and then that, and then I'll short it. There, I will put on the bark short, and let's see if there's. Not really seeing any liquidity down here. Heavy liquidity, so I'll just put on the bark short. Again, this area, it seems like a chop fest. I've already been chopped up a couple times, so you could say, in an area like this where nothing's really going on, you're just not going to participate. That's an option too. All right, let me. I don't want to miss this soybean short because I have a strong feeling that it's going to get smoked. Thesis. Let's see where we are here, so I don't short into the lug like I did with NASDAQ. All right, we're okay there. These need to be all merged, and we can come up with a thesis on market profile as well. So if days overlap by more than 50%, the value areas of days, a value area is just what's 70% of the trade occurred in a day. If they overlap with prior days, then I merge them, and they're called market profile composites, and they're very, very powerful in their own right. Right. So let's merge this. This day did not overlap, but this day did, so I will merge all of them. Right. So this day did not overlap that day, but then this day did. So I'm going to merge all three of those. So that is a very powerful profile right now. It's like 5 days or more, I think. It's 5 or 6 days. So what could we gather from why it's not working? Then you want to come up with a story and what's going on with market profile to come up with a thesis. All right, so that's the most recent one. This was an old one. I can pretty much delete this or cut it off here. Let's see, cut that. So this is the most recent, and then this is today's trade. Well, what do you see going on here? So this market opened up below it, We talked about the failed breakout on the structure stuff. Open up below, try to get inside here, basically fail that point of control, and now back out. That's showing me lower prices as well. So we talked about the failed breakout. This is extremely bearish, right? When you get breakouts of balance areas and it gets back down to the high volume node, that's just where the most trade happened. That is not good for that market. So two things now are telling me short is the trade. If then my driver is my volume event, right? So let's see. Let's make sure the ATR is 2.22. That's correct. Pretty close. Let's see, 2.22. So to make that volume event, which is again the most important thing because that's real-time volume coming into the market, that was sell ice. I need to see hit 89.25 for that to be a bearish event. Did it get down to 89.25? It looks like it came real close. Let's see. 89.75. So it did not get down there yet. So I don't know how I'm going to trade this event, right? Like I said, it is in an inflection zone. I could go long off of here. And this is a perfect example. Like, I think these markets are going to get killed. I'm a day trader. If this is an Izzy zone, inflection zone, right? This market reacted here, something back here, whatever it was. That's why I have it drawn, but it reacted here, it reacted here, it reacted here, it reacted here. I think the market's going to get killed. I don't know. Nobody knows, right? You don't know until you see what you want to see. So this volume event's right here. If this moves back out of here, I will take the long. It'll feel uncomfortable because I think something's going to happen, but that's my trading strategy for the Izzy strategy right there, right? Take fade trades with moves into prior inflection zones. But the one thing with this one is, we'll check on that gas here too because it's yeah, I'd take that aggressively. So the problem where we trade the Izzy zone a little differently is if it's below balance, right below balance. I mean, technically it is, but it's moved, far away and then back. So I'll take this Izzy trade aggressively. Otherwise, I would still take the Izzy trade, but I would demand an ATR retest, kind of like the Bark trade. But I'm going to take this aggressively out of here if it moves to the upside. Other than that, I'm going to wait for the ATR below here to confirm it as a bearish setup, a retest failure. Then I will take a Bark and a lick, and you can see all the liquidity down here. So I'm hoping I don't get filled on the long, but I'm following my trading strategy, right? So that price would be 96.50. I could put on 1.33. Obviously, it's not 0.33. You can trade micros in the grains, but they're very thin and a lot of slippage. So I'll just round up to 2 here if this gets to 96.50. If it doesn't, then I'm taking shorts, and I'm taking shorts double size. So I'll put on probably 3. 96.50. That is Izzy trade. All right, that is working. So I do want to know if this. That's is going crazy. So if this gets down to 89.25, I want to know it. So I'm going to put an alert in here. So all you do is you left click the cloud notes here, notifications. They've got 2. This one's like the ring, so I'm going to know if it tests that ATR because I really, really, really want to go short. All right, that's working. Guys, this is a perfect example. Nothing's really going on here. Actually, Nasdaq almost retested that zone, but there's stuff firing off in other markets. So some people don't have the bandwidth to watch 17 markets like I do, but watch 3 to 5. Right? Most of you guys can watch 3 markets, right? Stop just staring at the crappy ES. And that's the market that I've made all my money in the past, and I still hate it to this day. So we'll show this quickly. So this was my trading. Just a quick glimpse. I think there's a couple swear words in here. I tried to find a cleaner one. I showed one the other day where I was losing my mind. I lost like 20 grand in a second, and I went crazy. But so if you're offended by swear words, then turn off the webinar because this was me trading. This was literally 20 plus years ago when I was scalping. So we'll take a quick look and see if it, again, apologies for the for these swear words. I don't know how I can expand that. Make this bigger. I can't make it bigger in this instance. So you can watch what I'm doing here though. Hopefully you can see that. So right now I got like 300 on, 300 long. Back then, this is what I always tell you guys, you can see counterparty, right? So you can see exactly who you're trading with over here. So I would have that up, and it was basically one dude that was the other big market maker in the market, and it was him and I head to head almost every day. It was ridiculous, and don't even get me started what the guy used to do. It was not legal, but I'm not going to get into that in this webinar. Anyway, you can see what I was doing here, right? So this is how my mind works. I'm like this. So whoever was complaining I'm talking fast, this is just how my brain works. I process things very quickly. So I was in and out, in and out, in and out. This is how I averaged 50,000 contracts a day, right? I was just a scalper. I was a market maker. But I would judge by the way this was trading. You can see these are the trades here. This looks like any dome now. Back then there were no domes. It was basically TT, Trading Technologies. That was it. But I could judge based on the way the markets were coming in, watching the orders, and I just would process things very, very quickly. And that allowed me to flip back and forth. So you can see all my offers up here. So this would be the equivalent today of liquidity, right? So this is the game I would play, right? I would load up long down here. Right, I think I got, this says I think 350 or 250. Sorry. See, I told you guys there's going to be some swear words. This is very mild. I'm usually going crazy. Anyway, then I would have my offers in, and then I would push it into my offers, right? And then as it comes up here, I would like pull them and then put them back in, aka it's called spoofing. Back then, let's see, actually I just showed my P&L there. Let's see what it was. This was glory days, by the way. Let's see. Let's see what I was up at this point. I know I did. There it is. Hold on. Yeah, that looks like 14,000-ish. 14 or 16,000, right? So when you got 250 on, I mean, it's like $3,000 a tick, right? So it's so sorry. So you can see here, like I was long and I had my offers, and then I can get long here again, and I can judge and either pull these or just let them fill. But I'm basically pushing the market into my orders. And guys, that is what's going on. And this is just a chop fest, by the way, guys. But this is what this is. This is what I try to explain to you guys.
Gas iceberg sell NG 245 contracts.
The same games go on today. Guys get loaded up down here, and then they wait, and then they start to buy, and they push the market right into their orders. You're watching exactly. And this is why when I tell you about my setups, so that was just a brief view, and here's the retest of that zone, by the way, NASDAQ. That's why when I tell you guys about
Gold stock by GC 152 contracts.
Oh, where's it at? So this stuff, this is not hypothetical stuff. This is how I used to react when I was loaded up, how other traders used to react when they're loaded up. That's what the 6 setups are based off of on my course, and what I trade off of, the foundation of my trading. So I'm glad I was finally able to get those videos. There's way more for the next pro trading webinar for Bookmap. I'll have it set up where it'll be a little more, detailed. And you can see me the one time I was stuck with like 1,500 on, and it was ripping against me. Again, it's not PG rated, but I'm glad I got to show you guys that. All right, see if you guys got any questions. I need to take a break from talking for a second. When you put your orders in the book, why don't they show on the book? I was watching that video of yours on BM, and there was no contracts level you placed in yours, and it did not show up. As far as I'm not trading on Bookmap, I'm trading, and second of all, I'm trading, this is all on Apex. We haven't covered Apex yet. So I used to trade all of my strategies just through a live account, and it was on Bookmap, and I was all over the place, right? I'd be like, okay, here.
Gas iceberg sell NG 156 contracts.
Here's the volume of that. I'm
Nat gas iceberg sell NG 235.
So this is this, right? By the way, I will draw this and trade off that. And I would have all my different strategies, and I'd just be flipping back and forth, and it's very hard to follow. You think I'm talking fast now? We'll try doing all the strategies on one screen live. And the other thing too is when I'm on these webinars, and I do two webinars a day too, as far as education, I make tons and tons of errors, and I was getting killed as far as my, this is my personal money, and I'm not a millionaire anymore, right? I was a millionaire trader. That should be very motivational for you guys, right? I started at zero. I made millions, right? I made $15 million in 3 years for my trading firm, and I did that because I could not make money fighting these algos the way I just showed you I used to trade, that became obsolete. I couldn't make money anymore. It was the speed of the trades coming in. I was one of the fastest in the world clicking a mouse. I wasn't as fast as a computer, right? So that combined with low volatility, combined with this dude that was running the show, ripping back and forth, that I blew out. Like I couldn't make money anymore. So I had to I had to come up with a new. It's either you come up with a new, you adapt, or you're extinct, right? So I spent 7 more years trying to figure out the best way to trade this, and then when Bookmap came out, I figured out a way to trade this. So anyway, the point is, I was, flipping in and losing money because I'm making mistakes, leaving orders in the order book. So what I did is this was back in like February or March. I came up with each one of these strategies, and I designated an Apex account to each one of these strategies, and the goal is to get, and they will all eventually be live. It's just there was a period of trade that was really bad, really slow for the last few months, but a couple of these have been live already. But the point is to get all these live, and then I'm going to hire someone to monitor them so I don't keep making mistakes on these. But I think I know what you're getting at. Like you think you're catching me like I'm putting in fake orders. There's no fake orders. It's very clear. I've said for the last 7 months, not 8 months, that these are all Apex accounts. That's this, Apex Trader Funding. Highly advise you take a look at this for either practicing or, if you don't want to risk your own money. So again, I'm not $1 million trader. I couldn't fund, I want to do each one of these strategies. I can't put 10, 20 grand into each one of these strategies right now. That's just the way it is, right? And I've never said I could. So I was a multimillionaire. I couldn't make money anymore. When you have a certain lifestyle and the money's not coming in anymore, it disappears real quick. So I am building myself back up to be, $1 million trader again. And I know with this edge, it's going to happen because this is the best edge I've ever seen. But I am not $1 million trader anymore. So each one of those are the Apex. So nice try trying to catch me in something. It didn't work. So anyway, this is the Apex. Come over here, and the 150,000, these are all those strategies are based on this. If you use this code, you get whatever, I don't know why it says 90% off. Maybe they're coming out with a new, this might be their new discount. Whatever discount they have, if you use this code, you get the discount, whatever it is. It's 50, 80, 90, whatever it is. They may be changing this because this might be coming out tonight, actually, because it was 80. This is incredible. Like if you can get this, so this means you can do this account for, it's not a $150,000 account though. Don't be confused by that. Like it's a $5,000 account, because if you lose 5 grand, you're out. So the whole goal is you want to make 9,000 before you lose 5,000. If you do, you get a funded account. It's a $5,000 account. What you can do is have like up to 20, and that you can link them all so they all do the same thing, right? So you could have literally a $100,000 account on them. This is the one I back. I've seen many of these, and they're coming out of the woodwork now because it's a great business model, because most traders fail and they take your money for this. This is the one that I put my name behind because they actually do what they say they're going to do. As far as funding you on the account, getting paid, I've been paid on multiple accounts that were live, right? So this is the one that I back. Highly recommend if you're practicing, you're learning my strategy or any other strategies. Yeah, see, this is the new one here, 90% off. I must have just released it. So anyway, that's Apex. But again, anonymous trader, if you're trying to catch me like I'm not trading live, it's well known that I'm trading on the Apex accounts until I get all those live, and then those will be live, and then you'll see the orders in the order book. I'm not going to sit there and risk my life savings on, because all I do is make mistakes, because I'm trying to teach you guys. So you would think you would be actually appreciative of that instead of trying to bust me on something. All right, so I'm going to draw both of these 2 sell ice areas. Again, proof's in the pudding. You come in, learn this stuff, go back, replay the days, and watch it for yourself, right? There are many traders in my room that are making a lot of money trading these exact strategies, following these exact rules. If you don't believe it, do it yourself. If you don't want to trade it, go back, get your Bookmap, replay the days. If you come in my room, you have access to 3 years of data feeds. Go back, run the day, pause it, draw these zones, and trade off of them, and tell me what your P&L is. That's the best way anyway. You never want to take someone's word for anything anyway. If you're trading your own money, figure it out and make sure it works for yourself. Like, this is not follow me blindly and just put on trades. It's to learn how to do this yourself. All right, so this sell ice came in. It started up here. You can see where it started the spike. And then it was still triggering there. And actually came back a little bit. I'm just making sure this is the correct zone. We've been very adamant on making sure these zones are correct. was that there and that there. I think that is accurate. 2950 to 2943 would be the zone. Then we'll do the same process. We'll look where we are in the bigger picture. $29.43. I didn't see your response, Anonymous, once I pointed that out. I didn't see your response to that. Was this not real market orders too? Let me know. Go back and check out the. I can show you my trading. What do you call it? Trading statements too, if you want to know if those were real too. All right, 0.015 is the ATR in here. Let's check this out. And the other thing too, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. I'm trying to teach you guys to do it for yourself, right? So, and when I tried to explain last week too, the entries are pretty straightforward, right? Like this is if I was going to go long, this is where I go long. Here's my stop. Where I get out can be completely different than where you get out. You may be a terrible trader and you panic the minute the thing starts pulling back. I'm holding the trade until we get to certain areas, right? So that is still not indicative of because I get emails, what's your P&L, blah blah blah. Learn the system, figure it out yourself, because it's never going to be the same unless you're getting out at the exact moment that I'm getting out, so on and so forth. And it's not about mirroring me; it's about me showing you what is driving these markets. And like I said, there is no one on this planet that I know of that has more market volume experience than me as far as watching orders come in and understanding what's going on. So I'm trying to teach you guys what drives markets. It's not lines on a chart. It's real-time volume events. There you go. All right, so anyway, I forgot what I was looking at. Anonymous Trader made me mad. There you go. So this is in the middle of nowhere. This is a failed breakdown, so I would trade bigger to the long side here. See here, balance, try to break down, no, rip through the high volume node, built more balance. This looks like that to me. So if this setup turned bullish, I would trade bigger to the long side. Algo guy is also bullish, so I can trade barks and licks in that direction without fear. That's my one. I can't think of the word. It's the one thing that I demand to make sure I'm taking the trades in those directions. So I just want to make sure, if this turns into a bearish setup, I'm not taking a bearish trade here, a short trade, because there's nothing really here to go short on, like a Izzy zone or anything like that. So that price and validation price to go long is 28, which is the same as the validation price for a short, 28. So if this touches 28, I can't take any longs. Did not touch 28 yet, so we'll keep an eye on that, and then I will take longs. And you can see this liquidity up here. I would take a bark long, and I do this double size because of my thesis, and a lick long, and I would trade to that. And this is exactly what I was showing you on the video. This is all relative, by the way. It doesn't look like a lot. You look at it like big deal, 54 lot, but I mean relatively, that's a lot in this market right now. But these guys will get their fill. Does it mean it's going to happen right this second? No, but they will. They run the show, just like you saw me moving the market back and forth, right? That's just, if you understand that, it makes things much clearer, and it's really annoying. Yes, I know. It's hard to watch people manipulate the market, but if you can see what they're doing, which you can with the liquidity, with the icebergs, so on and so forth, then instead of complaining, you're joining, and you can see what they're doing and trade in that direction if you want. All right, so this was the zone I was waiting for a retest on. This may have invalidated the short if it got an ATR above the zone, and that's how I decide. So let's see what this is.
Crude November iceberg ICO, 151 contracts.
So if this got to 85 quarter, I cannot put a short on off of that event. Got close. Let's see. Got really close. got up to 85. So it's like there's a reason. This is what I'm talking about, like with these ATRs. These algos are set for ATRs, and then they rip it back the other way. So I mean, I got to make a decision if the market comes back. Do I consider this? We just talked about this, about adding the subjectiveness. Do I consider this an invalidation? It missed it by 1 tick. And I changed the ATR, so it was, in actuality, you got to use whatever the ATR was when it got up here. I'll just say it's invalidated because I'm not really interested in trading in this area anyway. You see what a whipsaw show this is. It's because we're just in the middle of nowhere. This thing is just building balance in this area, so you can see it's a whipsaw. So I'm not gonna, like, if I love the short and I love the area, now up here I'd sing a different tune, but I don't love this area, so I'm not gonna, it got close to the invalidating, but it didn't. So I just don't love this area, so I don't care what happens here. I'm going to wait for a move into here, and hopefully I get a volume bet. This is an important zone coming up here. Yeah, this was from something from way long ago. We get a gap up, buying tail, directional conviction, buying tail, directional conviction. Then it broke down. That's basically the bottom of this balance area. Then you had selling tail, selling tail, selling tail. And now it's going to be the top of this current balance. So this zone's really important when it gets in here, and I almost promise you we get a volume event. So I'm just going to wait for this zone and see what happens. So I don't continue to whipsaw myself. Plus, it just invalidated this zone anyway. So there's no trade on these zones. And I don't know what's been going on in NASDAQ. It's trading like gold lately. Like there's just stop runs back and forth. Like yesterday was ridiculous. There was like 9 stop runs in the first hour. So it just means traders are getting whipsawed is what it means. So hopefully we'll get some icebergs where the big money's playing, because they're definitely not playing in there right now. Let's see what's going on here. That was a sweet little whipsaw I took there. This was a pre-market zone. And this is a trade I missed, so I'll show you here. So I put on 1 loser and then missed like 2 winners in the pre-market. So that was that market moved up, pre-market. It actually doesn't show it on here because this is a regular trading hours chart. There was a volume event right here, and that was this. And I'm supposed to take Izzy trades. This is the inflection zone, aka Izzy. I'm supposed to take those aggressively, and I wasn't watching because I was getting set up for the day, and that was this trade here. This turned out to be a whopper, right? Hopefully some traders in my room caught this because it was pretty straightforward. Sell ice. The minute it moves out of there, Izzy trades are aggressive, meaning I don't wait for retest, and this is the reason I don't wait for retest, because there's such powerful areas. Many times they just rip and keep going. So I would have been probably short right around here, and that was a nice close to 20-point move that I missed. So anyway, we're back at this zone now, and I'm just waiting for something new to happen here. Actually, this is something new. Hold on. So I could draw this zone right here, actually. Or did I already? No, this is new. So neither one of these were threshold. My threshold for ES is 700, but they're back to back, and this is definitely, you add them together, 500, 600, you got almost 1200 here. And you had this too. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to delete this prior double whammy zone because it's already traded down and back up through it. And then I'm going to draw this zone, and I could trade off of this event. I may have missed a trade here, we'll see. Squawk guy is very squawky today. There you go, that's that. So this was one price, right? You see it tag here with the blue bubble. You see the black line, it's the on chart showing me the iceberg. Tagged again, it increased here. That's just because it keeps tagging. So I'm not including these prices. These sell bubbles were not part of this sell ice. It was the buying that kept running into it. And then as this moved higher, then it was still triggering more up till it flatlines, right? So up to here. Again, I go over this in detail in my room every day, and my trading goes. Actually, that was just to here. I think this is a 1 price zone right there. Let's see. Yeah, this is 1 price. That was sell ice. Let's change that color. $43.1750. Again, I may have missed this trade already. Bonds are very active today. We already caught that. I already caught that winner earlier when I got out. Hopefully, probably cost myself money, but I couldn't watch it. This is what I'm talking about. It's so hard to cover all these markets on these webinars and pay attention. And I make mistakes, and it's brutal, but it is what it is. It's what I'm choosing to do. I like teaching. It helps keep me grounded too. All right, so to make this a long setup, it needed to touch 24, which it did. I hope my wife's home because they're delivering a new air conditioning today, which is pretty important in Arizona. All right, so this has not retested the zone yet. Algo guy, so this just shows you the choppiness of today, right? This thing just keeps whipping back and forth. So this is a chop fest. It is bullish now, so I can take. I'm not excited about trading in this area, just like NASDAQ, but, you know, and I already got burned on one long, but if it goes here, 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 I will take a long. Liquidity-wise, I could trade to this liquidity because it's far enough away risk-reward, I believe. My entry for this long would be, where is my, 25. And this is, it's only 5 points. I probably would not take that liquidity, but there's liquidity up here. So I would take the lick trade, the bark and the lick. Again, these are just different strategies. The bark is blind ATR retest failure. It's not really blind anymore because I've added algo guy as a filter. But those are these trading strategies. These are these trading strategies right here. Bark and lick. Noah, awesome. Been waiting to see this for a while. Yeah, that was just a short snippet. I'm gonna make it more into a, you know, a little longer video, and I'll show it on the next trading webinar because a couple times you can see me with like again a couple thousand on, and not usually if I had 2,000 on, it wasn't working out very well for me. But it's just good to see. It's good to see that it was that easy for me to run the show, right? It was that easy for one guy. This wasn't even one firm. It was one dude running the show. And it's good for you to see that's how easily these markets are manipulated, right? But you're seeing what's going on with this information from Bookmap. That's the whole point. You can see the liquidity. You can see what their intentions are. You can see what they're doing with the icebergs, the bigger houses. I'm not saying this is all one house, but you can see what they're doing. And we have specific rules to take advantage of that. That's the whole point. You can see this failed at this prior event. I wasn't going to trade off of this pre-market event, but it responded to this prior sell ice event, right? Jay, God, it's all good. Just need to focus. So you follow your words. It is fast enough. No need to change. Your experience is very inspired. Thank you, Jiang. I think that's how you pronounce it. How come I stopped trading with that firm company? Because I blew out and they went under. So when I got there at the height of it was called King's Tree Trading. You can Google it. We were like the biggest firm out there as far as volume at the CME, and I was the main reason. I traded 1 million contracts a month, 50,000 a day, right? Well, at my height we were
151 contracts.
at my height we were about 70 traders, and then things started to change. That's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Like, you got to be able to adapt when things change because nothing is ever constant in trading, right? Like, we've changed some rules for these zones, but this has been pretty constant for the last 7 years. The volume events are volume events. You can't hide volume. You can't hide trades. Guys, I think I gotta go let this dude in. Where's my wave? Hold on. All right, you guys, give me like 3 minutes. I'll be right back. All right, guys, sorry about that. I thought my wife was home to take care of that. I guess not. Anyway, why did I stop trading? Because I couldn't make money anymore. And we were at our height, we were at 70 traders, and then people just started dropping like flies because they couldn't make money. And I was one of the last ones there. I think we were down to 13 traders when I finally. It was more of a mutual at the time because the firm was getting killed, and the guy was putting, I used to have what did I just fill on? Hold on a second here. I filled on this soybean long. I did not want that, but guys, this is what I'm talking about. Like this market was truly bearish, like I thought it was gonna be. These volume events should hold, and it should have turned. Remember, we're waiting for this retest price, so I got long the Izzy trade here. This is painful. This doesn't feel good because I don't like a long, but it followed. This is my strategy. This was an event in this inflection zone, and I took the long. All right, so. Again, if the market is truly bearish, you shouldn't be seeing bullish volume events. So I'm long here, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Let's put the stop in.
Gold stock sell GC 210 contracts.
Gold's been going crazy. I haven't even gone over there. We'll check that out here in a second. So I got long at 96.50. My stop goes at 89. All right, that's long. I forgot what I was saying about my trading firm. I mean, bottom line is because I couldn't. Oh, it was mutual. So at the time, at my heyday, my loss limit for the day was 100 grand, right? So that they were supposed to stop me at 100 grand. Don't even get me on those stories where I lost 800 grand 2 different times because they didn't stop me. It's my own fault, I know, but that's why you have a risk manager to stop you. Well, my loss limit was 100 grand. Well, the firm started getting just smoked. Right, losing traders, so they did not want me losing 100 grand anymore. So then I would be like trading. You gotta remember, I was very active, as you can see by that video, right? And my P&L would be flipping 20 grand at a time, and then I'd start getting phone calls. It's like I can't concentrate. You can see how to trade in this fashion, right? Like again, hopefully no swear words, but to trade in this fashion, it's like I got to be concentrating. I can't be getting phone calls. So they were basically panicking. Like they would see my P&L tick down and they would call me, hey man, hey, you can't lose more than 20 grand today, blah, blah, blah. So then I just got sick of it. And at the time I had enough, my bank accounts to trade on my own. Guys, this is why I'm telling you about the Apex too. It is a whole different ball game when you are trading with money, your own money, and money that you have to live on. It's a whole different game, right? So that's what I'm saying. Even if you have money to trade with, if you're at all panicky that you're afraid to lose it, then just try to qualify for one of these, and then you're backed, right? Then you don't have to risk your own money. And this is just like your own private trading firm is what this is, right? And when you're trading with someone else's money, things just are much clearer. You're not panicking. You don't do stupid crap. I mean, you're still going to do stupid crap, but not like, oh my God, I can't take this loss. I can't lose my mortgage this month. I'm out, right? You're trading with their money. Yeah, it sucks if you lose it, but it's not going to affect your lifestyle. When it starts to affect your lifestyle, you make completely different decisions. So that's the one thing that I highly recommend. You either do one of these or get someone to back you to trade, because if you're trading your own money and you're afraid you're going to lose your mortgage or your car payment, you don't make correct decisions. Take it from me. So anyway, I went on my own, and then I tried for 6-7 years to make it work, and I just could not make money. And then I had to leave the business. And then I got a call from Dr. Brett, one of the top trading psychologists on the planet now. Back then, he sat behind me for a year. Actually, he's right here. It's on my website. Right, this book here. You can read all about my exploits. Anonymous Trader. This was real trading too. So in case you want to question that. Anyway, you can read all about my exploits here. Anyway, he called me and he said, because he sat behind me for a year, he wanted to know how I made $15 million. He's like, he wanted to see how my mind works. So he got to sit there and watch me do this for a year, and he'd watch me. And then he wrote the book. But he called me and said, hey, because he knew I was out of the business. I was literally kissing doctors' butts in their office doing medical sales, right? And he called me and said, hey, this was like 2017. He's like, hey, you might want to check out this Bookmap software. It displays orders kind of the way you used to view the market when I would watch you. So I'm like, I'll check it out. The minute I saw this, I'm like, I'm back. And that was before the SI indicator. Then they came with the SI indicator, and I said, now I'm really back. Now I'm going to be $1 million trader again. It's going to take some time because I've got to do it on my own. I don't have a firm backing me. Yeah, I could go to a firm. I thought about it. But if I do that, then there's no more education because they have their strict laws of like trading for firms and then doing like webinar and having an educational type of thing too. So I like teaching. Like I said, it helps keep me grounded. I make a lot less mistakes mentally as far as and going on tilt, because it's real embarrassing if you go on tilt in front of hundreds of people, right? So that's where I am in my career. So hopefully Anonymous Trader will vet that and make sure everything's okay with that. All right, let's see what's going on in gold. You guys see I don't take things like that very lightly. When guys are questioning my honor, I guess you would say. I'm very transparent in everything I've ever done, and I will continue to be. So please don't question me. If you got questions, that's fine, but the way you posed that question was very insulting. So I'll get over it here, hopefully by the end of the webinar. All right, this is the last stop run here. There was ice back here. This is 202. You can see that on the on chart there. I just want to see where we're at here, see if there's an easy trade, because gold has been getting absolutely crushed. So it's not quite, it's in between these two zones, so anything in there. Maybe we have a slug. Let's see if there's a stop run into the major lug here. There is. This is a slug. So this is the exact trade I took in that bond winner right here. It was a stop run. We went over this at the beginning of the webinar. There was 1,200 stops right into the lug. I took the long. I got out right around here, VWAP and yellow lug. I'm going to do the same thing here on gold. Blue lug, stop run. I don't know why it's not showing my, there you go. I got to go back and find these market profiles because it deletes every time a new month is. I got to set that up. Regardless, this is a slug. So I will plug this zone in and potentially take a trade while the equities just whipsaw back and forth. This zone is 1879 down to 1878.2. What did I say? 1878.2. Whoops. Again, guys, you have access to the spreadsheet either in my room, you get it for free, or you can subscribe to it. It's a godsend. That's all I can tell you. This thing is worth its weight in gold. You know, you don't have to. All you do is plug in the values, and it tells you exactly where to enter, where to get out, based on ATR, based on the zone, based on the rules that I have incorporated over the years and years of watching these. All right, so to go long aggressively, I go long at 14. I can put on 9 MGC. And that's what I will do, as long as. Well, this may violate. So if this violates to the downside, aka an ATR, that trade is disqualified. That invalidation price is in here too, 61. So if this touches 61, which it's about to do, I can't put on that long. I can put on shorts though. I don't. This is where I made the mistake with NASDAQ today. Do I want to short right into the blue lug? Because I know how powerful those lugs are. I will probably pass on that trade, because this thing is so extended from algo guy, because you know these algos, once it gets really extended, they will snap it back to these moving averages, exponential moving averages, plus run a blue lug. So there, the long is disqualified. I can't take the long now, and we said 61. The ideal situation here is this market continues to move lower. We build new lugs, and then I can take a retest failure of that volume event. So I will keep. Sierra chart, you got to kind of refresh this a lot. I'm hoping this draws new lugs, and then I can take shorts. Not yet. It should soon. This is pretty much through the lug. And guys, these are the times that it blows through lugs when you see this. We talk about this every webinar too. This is so important to know, like when moves are gonna, look at this chop fest, by the way, in equities. When moves are gonna continue many times or blow through the lugs, look at this relative volume coming in gold. This is when it blows through those important lugs. When you see this shows you the big money is unloading here, right? So many times that is a factor in why it just goes right through the lugs and builds new lugs. Most of the time, it bounces right off the lugs, right? All right, so anyway, let's see what happens here. You know, if we get new lugs and then we go retest failure of this, I'm going to put on a bark short. And I can put on a lick short too. This lick has moved down too. So whoever this is like, yeah, I think this market's going to get killed. So let's go ahead and move it from here down to there. Again, you can see what they're doing. You can see the games firsthand. One more look here. Actually, I forgot to put on my tick strike today. Very important. So I can get a good feel of, you know, and especially if I'm not watching markets, I can hear if something's firing off in other markets. Again, there's discounts to this on my website as well. All right, let's see what's going on here. New lugs. Okay, so now it's go time on a retest failure. See right there, it just built them. Now the thesis you get from these two, you can come up with a thesis on bar charts that we've talked about, on market profile that we talked about, on algo guide that we talked about, lugs as well. When it draws new lugs, if this is truly bearish, it should hold prior blue, that was a very strong area, and then the new directional yellow. And if it does, you expect the next blue. If this somehow can retake this, then you expect red, which would also be prior yellow. That's how you can come up with a thesis with these as well. Right? And when everything lines up, that's when you go for the throat, and that's an A+ trade. All right, so if we get retest failure, I'm going to go short bark and lick here. I'm going to put an alert in case I'm not on the screen, which I'm most likely not going to be. There you go. Let's see if you guys got any other questions here. No questions. All right. So, and yes, again, I'm not thrilled about trading in this area. It's been a complete shot fest, but I'm still waiting if this retests this zone, this prior sell ice, right here, these back-to-back sell ice areas that equaled over threshold. It was like 1100, threshold 700 for icebergs, NES, my threshold. If it does that, I'll take a long. Now I just wait. I already got burned on one long today. It is what it is. Guys, I didn't do anything wrong there. I took the trade. It's probabilities. I keep taking them. I know over a series of trades, I will be profitable with any strategy that I put on over a series of trades. It's just like a casino. I say it every single time. They are the same. They do the same thing. They don't shut down the casino if somebody has a winning day against them. They know their math, aka edge, is going to win in the long run, right? That's why casinos are around. It's the same thing if you have a strong trading edge. And that's the great thing, because about what we're doing, we've been doing it for so long. There's multiple traders making money in my room. And again, just taking my word for it, it's the best edge based on the type of trader I used to be. That should be enough. But if you want to learn it for yourself and improve it to yourself, that's fine too. You should do that. But the point is, you know, I forgot my train of thought. As far as like the casino is concerned, hold on, let me find this. Lost my train of thought too, so hopefully I'll get that back. That here. This. Right. Where's it at here? Learn to trade an edge like a casino. The purpose of this exercise, so this is the exercise that's in the book. You should try this. Oh, so that's what I was getting at, is the edge, right? So the problem with traders is they watch something work a couple times and they think it's an edge, right? And then they start to trade it, and then it loses, and then they bail, and then they go on to the next edge. I'm doing air quotes, right? The great thing about this is there's been so many traders in my room for so long that have been doing this, and again, just taking my word for it, you don't need to question whether these volume events and how we trade them are an edge. So you're 80% of the way there, right? That's the biggest issue with traders, is they don't really know if they have an edge or not. They see something work for a week, a month, or whatever, and then they start trading it and they lose and they want to bail. Well, I don't crap my pants when I have losing trades, because I know I keep putting them on. They're going to work over the long run, just like a casino. They don't shut down the blackjack table if one guy starts to smoke them. Yeah, they'll come in and kick them out for counting cards. Trust me, I know about that too. But the point is, they don't change the rules of the game because they know they have the edge. Same with these things. And if you don't believe me, get Bookmap, get the data replays, and replay the days and draw these zones and figure it out for yourself. I can assure you this is the best edge that you could possibly have. My opinion, obviously. Here we go. Gold's starting to retest this zone, by the way. Surprise, surprise. This is the other trade. Let's see if this was it had to have been one ATR reversion trade. This is the other trade that we have in my room. So this part of the spreadsheet is for these position trading strategies that we've been talking about. The slug, the izzy, the lick, the bark. This is actually bark now. Change that a little bit. And then the second part of this, and you do get this as this stuff. So if you
NQ stop by NQ.
right, this is this.
109
So if you subscribe to this, if you're not my trader, you can get this. And this bottom half is for the reversion strategy, and it's for this exact trade. When the market gets an ATR, 1 ATR, 2 ATR, 3 ATR, it will come back to the zone with ridiculous regularity. So this is like a scalp trade where there's no subjectiveness. You find your prices. This is the same spreadsheets, just in a different form. It's Google Sheets here. So right there, I would have gone long the 1 ATR. Why does this keep doing this? The ATR is 63. I stop at 38. I'm out back at the zone. The 2 is at 44. I don't think I got down to the 2. Got real close. Let's see. I got real close. You may have missed it by a tick. That would have been kind of painful. May have been a little different with the ATR, but regardless, the 1, you would have been in the 1 at right here at 61 or 63, whatever I said. You may have stopped. No, you didn't. You wouldn't have stopped out of the 1. So the stop price of the 1. So I'm talking about this 1 ATR. You're in at 63. You stop out at 38. This never got down. You're in at 63, right there. Never touched 38. You're out at the zone. That's the trade. And if you have, we talked about this earlier, you have trouble sitting in trades because of the whipsaw, this is the perfect trade for you because you cannot get, if you're going to follow the strategy, you can't get out. You just you plug these in, as soon as you're filled, your stop goes here, your exit's there, and you let the trade work. And as soon as it gets to the zone, you should be out. Of course, you get traders, even in my room, like, well, it got there, and I thought it could keep going, so I held it. It's like, you can do whatever you want, but if you're not trading the strategy is you're out when it gets back to the zone. Boom, boom, done. There's a retest right there. I think I've seen this pattern before. There you go. So now if this fails back out of here, I'm going to take a short and go lick and barf. Let me delete this because this will get really annoying. Like that. So my short's at 58. If it comes back, I can put on 9. I'm going to put on, actually, no, I don't love the short here. I'll put on 9, though. 58. Soybeans is working, by the way. We were long that. I'll go over that here in a second. So if this comes back, I'm going to go short bark and lick. I forgot what strategy that is. Hold on 1 second. I forgot what number. And metals, 56. That's working, and then I'm putting on the lick. That's working. All right, so those trades are working. If it comes back, I'm short. If it gets an ATR above here, those are canceled. Those are my rules from watching millions of these things. All right, so that was kind of a kick in the sack. From earlier, I was long, and now it's finally ripping, but it is what it is. And we never retested this zone that I drew to put that other long on. So now I'm just waiting for a new event. That's still very choppy, though. Soybeans is working. Remember, we went long the Izzy trade. Now I want to see some areas that I would potentially get out. So these are the areas that I get out. Show that on the Trading in the Zone document. Right here. That's what I'm talking about, right? These are the areas that I pay myself. You may get in the same spot. If you're following the spreadsheet, you would be, but where do you get out? You may not get out in the same areas as me. That's why it's not consistent. You got to run the stats for yourself. I pay the market. I pay myself as the market makes money available to me, straight out of Trading in the Zone. And these are my areas. This is not a Trading in the Zone. These are my areas. Logbook levels, market profile, composites, highs, lows, points of controls, VWAP, exchange standard deviation, spot gamma levels, struggle to get through heavy resident liquidity. So these are all the areas that I piece out of the trade, right? So let's see where we're at. Right, they're obviously going crazy on the stocks now. I wish they would have done that earlier. Kind of annoying.
So just keep our eyes on the markets here. The S&P 500 currently
So you can see here, there's a bunch of stuff coming up where I'm going to get out of one of these, and it's confluent. So I just read you all the areas. Here's one, top of market profile composite. Here's a baby lug.
S&P iceberg sell ES 701 contract.
We got an event. I got to hop off here soon, but we'll draw the event. I'll go over it quickly. You got baby lug right around same area, pretty close, and then you got daily value area. What's daily value area? 1 standard deviation from VWAP. So I will get out of 1 right around 13. And then I'll let 1 ride, and my ultimate goal is up here to the red lug, unless I see an opposing event. If I see an opposing event and it turns bearish, I'm getting out. Let me put that in so I can get out, because I know I won't be on the screen. I don't want to miss the exit. All right, that is working. All right, quickly, let's draw this up. Let's see where we're at. I think this is an Izzy zone. I will gladly short this chop fest into this zone. There you go. So this is an important area. And I will take a short aggressively if this turns into a bearish event. I don't know yet. I have no idea. I could be potentially going long here too, based on my other strategies. Let's draw this. You can see it on chart here. This triggered. Only 3,000. 3,000 sell ice. That's kind of important to know, right? No, you're not ever going to know that unless you're using something like Bookmap, and basically the only Bookmap, to alert you of this sell ice. This is what drives the markets. It's pretty important that you know that somebody's selling 3,000 here. This looks like one price too. It just kept triggering on these blue bubbles. It might have gone now. It's up a little bit. Let's see. See how it spiked there? Use your crosshair. No, that's still at the same price right there. I think this is a 1 tick zone for 3,000. That's crazy. You don't usually see. Let's see. Now it spiked up a little more here. No, this just kept triggering at this one price. I'm seeing 1 price zone here. You don't get those very often, but now that we know how to draw these properly, we're seeing them a lot more often. That's more sell ice, exactly at 43.35. This is our.
S&P iceberg buy ES 705 contract.
All right, so now there's a way I can trade off of this first event and trail my stop to this last event. So let me plug this in first, 43.35. The handy dandy spreadsheet. ATR in here is now, what is this? Come on. I love Thinkorswim. Not 6.36. I'm just rotating about 6.5 points every 5 minutes. All right, so to make this a bullish event, I need to see the validation price of 41.25. That validates the as a bullish event, right? So if this gets up to 41.25, I will take longs off of this setup. And it's almost there right now. I'll go retest failure and I'll take longs. And then what can I do? This is the best thing about, this is how I trail my stops. There's liquidity up here too, by the way, so I'm taking barf and lick to these liquidity levels, those trading strategies. This was a new event, just fired off. It was 1,200 buy icebergs. Right? So now I'm going to draw that zone. I can still go long off of that first zone. So if it retests, fails, or confirms back out of that first zone, I go long at 42.25, and my original stop would be 27.75. Well, now there's a new event right here. Let's see if this is 1 tick too. So you can see it triggered there. Use your crosshair right there. This was buy ice. Came back down, triggered more. Actually triggered more up here. See that? And you can see it on the on chart right there too. So you see how this spiked right here? Yeah, it's up here. So this is actually a couple tick zone. Let's draw that up there. It's like a point-ish. I'm going to change colors so I don't confuse myself. So this is buy ice. I use blue-ish for buy ice, whatever color that is. I'm buying the crap out of these things now. Well, I could have used these buyers when I was long earlier. Good thing I let things go quickly. Not. All right, that's that. So now the way I can trade this is if this confirmed as a bullish event, right? I'll go long off of that event, and then I'm going to put this zone in and trail my stop to this event versus that event. And if that doesn't retest, I can still go long, same thing off of this event. And there's a way I can do both. So if this goes like this, I'll put on that long, and then it could go this, and I can add to it. So you can see on a trending day where you keep getting events going that way. We saw one of these yesterday. I think it was yesterday. You can have multiple positions on, and all you're doing is trailing your stop to the most recent event, right? So let's just plug this in to see, in case it doesn't retest. We already know this is a bullish event of this one. So if a retest fails, I'm going long at 42.25. Now I'm going to plug this one in. 38.75 down to 37.50. ATR should be right around the same. That's 6.55 now. So now if that doesn't retest this zone, that first zone, this zone, validation price is 45.25. So I've got two different options here depending on what it does. If it doesn't come all the way back down to the first event, then I'll wait for this 45.25 retest failure, and I'll go long. I could potentially go short off of this. If this doesn't get to 45.25 and it does get below here, I can go short that ISI because this is an inflection zone, right? We already showed that. But I don't know yet. This is the thing. Like, this is why you just don't jump in the first, just because you see buy ice, you shouldn't just be jumping in long. You can do whatever you want. This is the science. The art is how you trade them. I'm telling you, I trade them from watching thousands. If you watch thousands of these things and come up with your own ideas, that's fine, right? This is the science, however you want to trade these, right? But I'm not just going to, the minute I hear buy ice, I just don't jump in and long. I wait for my rules to confirm which way, because we have a trading strategy. A Titanic is going with the ice. A broken ice is when it's wrong. The paper is not always right. They're right more often than they're wrong because they run the show. But when they're wrong, you get big moves too, right? So that's how I determine which way I'm going to trade. So I could go short off of this if this, as long as this doesn't get up to 45.25 and it gets back below here and that entry price, and that's an aggressive entry price. That would be at 43.30. So I will keep a close eye on this going in. Other than that, I'll take longs on the bar from the lick strategies. Either this, 42.25, or this, or both. Hopefully that's clear. Guys, if you're new at this, or you've only watched a couple of these and you're like, what the hell is he doing? He's talking too fast. I'm sorry I'm talking too fast watching 85 markets here. But if you're, it's like drinking from a fire hose. I've heard that it's compared to, and it's understandable, right? But what I'm doing is nothing that complicated. Once you learn it, it'll be second nature to you. So this is what I do twice a day in my trading room. If you want to come in there and learn it, that's you learn it. If you want to get the course, it goes over all this stuff in detail. You can learn from these webinars and from my trading room, but it's going to take you some time because I am trading live. I can't go over basics. I go over a lot of basics in the Bookmap webinars, but I still can't cover everything. So if you are wanting to understand this stuff and come in my room and hit the ground running, highly recommend you get the course. And if you're part of my room, you get a discount to the course. You can learn this stuff on the fly. It's just going to take you longer, right? All right, that's it for me. The Tom B guy's coming in. It's probably already started. Let's see, a couple of questions here. Algo guys, and exponential. Gabriel, you're in the room, dude. Are you not in my trade room? Why are you asking what algo guy is? Just ask in the room. Adam Hewlin. Just want to ask if you have any prediction from, let's say, daily charts and based on your trades. Say example, okay, I'm expecting this day to go down. Well, you can't eliminate one side of the market, and that's what I talk about coming up with a thesis, right? I look at the bar charts and the market profile and the lugs, and I come up with a thesis. Right now, I don't have a strong opinion here either way, right? Like, this is a little bit of a balance. It's breaking out of that balance. That's short-term bullish, but then you got all this stuff that it's got to get through to be fail breakout. So. But yeah, and you could say I'm not trading both ways, and that's fine. Eliminate one side of the market that day. But you may be missing some trades if you're a day trader. If you're a swing trader, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with your day trader. Because you got to come up with your own trade plan. I'm giving you the foundations, especially with the Bookmap and the SI indicator. The idea is not to mirror me. It's to come up with take the stuff that you learn from me and build your own trade plan. That's the only time you're ever going to have full confidence anyway. Space Cowboy, it said I already answered it, so no time. Okay. All right, guys, that's it. Next Thursday, hope to see you back in here, anonymous trader, so you can question me a little more. Sorry, I don't let things go very lightly, especially when it's insulting. All right, guys, have a great weekend. I'll see you next Thursday.